I get slap happy after a while sitting in this warm room. You tell us when. I get slap happy after a while. So then, Bruce, if you want to come on up,
Right.
I can send you a copy.
You got the microphones picking up.
Okay, we're live.
the microphones will pick you up, and you can take your mask down. Yes, you can speak.
My name is Bruce Smith. I'm a Portage County resident. I just got a question about the recycling concern that's you're not making any money anymore because the price of aluminum and scrap is all down.
Mhm.
Doesn't most of that stuff now go to a site where they just dispose of it now? They don't process it?
Well, supposedly it still does get processed. Now, like the glass, they actually haul from Akron to Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah.
But it is still supposed to be processed. Even the difference is we're not making the money off the processing. We've done such a great job with recycling. It has little to no value right now because there's not a demand.
No, I know that, of course, China used to be a big one.
And you know, we're assessing the recycling. You'll see today, you know, the commercials, you know, we had a lot of commercial accounts that just aren't profitable for us to maintain, unless, you know, we had some nonprofits and other political subdivisions like county buildings and other buildings that, you know, courtesy, we picked up the recycling for free, and we can no longer do that.
So are your plans to get that into private contractors?
You
Would it be
know,
more beneficial?
we're gonna be looking at what the future of the recycling center holds. I mean, we always have to have a solid waste district. Whether that means we continue to provide the service or we outsource it to the private sector, there will always be recycling in Portage.
And we know that Bill had just said in the meeting that he's meeting with different cities as their contracts come up, or the businesses, give them an opportunity to do something else, recycling. And he was talking in that letter about having drop-off, strategically planned drop-off places to recycle. But the door-to-door is the cost that it cost us to actually do is almost prohibitive.
Well, yeah, plus the maintenance on those vehicles gotta be pretty.
Yeah, and then just getting drivers, I mean, it's been a constant battle, and I think that's the reason that we are, out of 88 counties, we are truly, I think, the only county that has the in-house services provided by the actual county.
So even though you're responsible, you could pay outside contractors to. do the
Outside
recycling.
contractors, the customer would pay the outside contractor.
Or the customer will pay the outside.
And it depends, there's actually various ways. We can either contract it with an outside private hauler to have like drop-off sites, like Bill was suggesting for the commercial, throughout the county at different sites that people can go to, or, you know, like municipalities that, you know, they're under home rule, they have the option, they can contract with like a trash hauler and bundle the services for their residents.
Well,
So,
I know before you had started the recycling, there used to be drop-off sites
Correct.
everywhere
Yes.
for that.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think they're gonna be everywhere, but I know he's talking about strategically
like
planned.
4
to 6 of them,
quarters
something
of
like
the
that.
county.
Yeah, I know he's been talking about that. I talked to him last week about that.
Or you know what's gonna happen there, most people just throw in their regular garbage pickup and then move on.
I think they're trying to come up with different solutions, so it won't be a garbage dump.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's
you're
what
always
they-
gonna have people that don't follow the rules.
Oh, yeah.
Look, it's like everyone should have a garbage service, but we see it in our ditches and we talk to the engineer's office sometime, what they.
Oh, my road has always been a dump site. You
Yeah.
can find appliances and couches and everything.
Well, I mean, seriously, and the further out you are,
Yep.
yeah, it's a constant, but we are required by the EPA and mandated that we have to provide recycling services, no matter if it means the political subdivisions gets together, we have a plan that we have to have in place. So whether we coordinate it, provide it, or they contract with someone else, we just include that under our plan so that we ratify it.
That's all I need.
All right,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Nope.
Hey, Vicki, you wanted to make a comment?
You know, I did, because the thing about the King Kennedy Center really confused me. And I called Stacy Brown at NDS and said, you know, what happened here? And she did explain to me that the process was not followed. And I guess the missing piece that I had, there was a meeting held that I was not present, and they were given the direction to just go forward. And
Yeah.
I don't know how I fit into that, but I wasn't in the meeting. And I thought it had been approved, and I did not realize the process wasn't followed. So I apologize for that.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, Vicki, you were there. I had asked Frank, what donations have you got in? What's your fundraising efforts? Just, so it helped me understand.
Well, he told me he had donations. I guess there was a church that donated. There were some individuals that donated. He personally donated. Now, I don't know that I've seen that in writing,
Yeah, they were
Sabrina,
information.
but that's what he told me.
Yes, I said, hey, I see that Vicki and Kathleen approved this. I said, I was off. I didn't realize it until it came back for us to sign for, I forget what kind of remediation or whatever they had to do out there. And I said, I had asked Frank, but I'm assuming, that you would have the information. It would just
But
be.
Stacy said we didn't approve it. And I said, well, it was just said in the meeting that we did approve it.
No,
Kathleen and I approved it. And she said, no, I've looked all over and it's not been approved.
Call Todd in. It's the way the resolution was written, I guess. And I don't know who did the resolution, Vicki, but he said it really has no weight as far as the approval.
So it's really not approved then. I
Correct.
mean, then that's probably what Stacy was saying when she said it's not been approved.
But Family and Community Service, Vicki, thinks it's approved. And there's some confusion there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think the intention was that you did approve it, but Todd, we're talking about King Kennedy. Vicki has some good questions. The resolution that her and Kathleen passed, that didn't approve them getting that. I mean, I think that was the intention,
So-
but
So King Kennedy is not an entity. The journal entry read that the revolving funds can be used for the King Kennedy project. Typically, we specify who's getting the money, under what conditions are they getting it. None of that material was included in this resolution. So, that would be up for Chris to review whether they could sue us for the 127 based on just that journal entry alone. But it doesn't even say who gets it, so who could possibly challenge it? I mean, it just said that the revolvers could be used. So,
Well, I guess Stacy has to know that right away because they've started things in motion. So she said she has to know right away. So I'm thinking, Todd, it's really not approved. Is that correct?
is that Stacy Brown or?
Yes, yes.
So they did the environmental review, which happens whether you approve a project or not, that can occur.
Okay.
Commit you to a project further.
that's what we signed off on and approved. That's
That
what
was-
red flag means.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. My understanding of the project, I haven't actually been out there. They did some basic grading, but then they stopped. So there is no contractual work that's currently progressing, in part because they were waiting to get this information, in part because Mike Bogo told them, whatever you do, you can't get it then until the paperwork's filed with the state for the project. So in that regard, no, nothing's been filed with the state on this project. The county hasn't written a check. The county couldn't write a check today based on that journal entry because I don't know who to write it to.
Right.
But I will tell you that there were perhaps conversations between Gene and Mark Perzone that the money was coming. That's the part I don't know about. So it is a very messed up process right now.
Yeah.
Isn't followed.
Well,
My-
somebody needs to contact Stacy, I think. I mean, that's what she told me. I contacted her during our recess and she said, if this is not a go, she said she could not find where it was approved. She looked for it yesterday.
Yeah, well,
Right.
we instructed Todd to contact them immediately
Yeah.
today.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, well,
instructed Todd to let them know.
Yeah, so I'll call Stacy. I usually call Mike, but I'll call them both.
okay,
I don't know what they think they're proceeding on if they don't have an approval themselves. But it is a very messed up project. It wasn't
right.
the proper procedures. And so there is some confusion as to regard to where it's at.
Okay,
Okay. I'll get a hold of them. And like I said, if there's any issues with this delaying things or causing problems, we'll bring it right back to you guys.
okay,
But, you know, if you advertise Tuesday for other business, we could at least discuss if there are issues and then pass something on Thursday if needed. My
okay,
now is if it were still officially approved around April or May, it would be okay.
Okay.
But I will double check that.
okay.
All right.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn if there's no other business.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Roll call, Julie?
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Have a wonderful day, gentlemen.
Hey,